Hello and welcome to another round of Modern. We have a tilted camera angle apparently, but it's another round from our Modern 1K. On the left we have Harrison Downs playing Bring to Light Scapeshift, putting his lands in front like a madman. And on the right we have Craig Howard playing Graveyard Combo, but it's actually zombies. Whenever Craig plays on stream, or plays in the store, I just kind of safely assume that it's a graveyard-based deck. I don't think I've ever seen him play something that is not graveyard reliant. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, he is playing zombies today, and he's got a really interesting list. It looks like it's two color. It looks like it's black-white zombies. I'm looking at the deck list right now. This creature lineup, we've got 4 Carrion Feeder, 4 Chamber of the Parish, 4 Gravecrawler, 4 Stitcher Supplier. Makes sense. We got 3 Undead Augur, 2 Binding Mummy, 2 Wayward Servant, 1 Corpse Knight, 3 Giraffe's Messenger, 4 copies of Headless Rider, and 1 Diagraph Colossus. And then spell-wise, we got Thoughtseize on Earth, Inquisition of Kozilek, and then Smattering of Lands. Alright, we're going to take a look at that hand of Thoughtseize. We're going to see it bring to light 3 Solitudes and 2 lands that he can't take. Yeah, interesting. It's a cool deck. Yeah, this is an interesting match. Taking Solitude. Harrison's deck looks like your pretty run-of-the-mill 4-color Scapeshift deck. I mean, 5-color if you count Valky, God Alive, but I mean, it's not like you're tapping black for it. Yeah, it's pretty solid. Wins through Scapeshift into Valk at the Molten Pinnacle. Plays a whole ton load of lands. Then has a various amount of good cards in it. My camera angle is gonna bother me. How did I not notice that during the stream? Maybe I did. Hopefully I corrected it. Lord. Alright, Craig's gonna fetch here. Gonna grab a Godless Shrine. That is all 3 copies of Solitude that man drew. He only plays 3, and he had 3. The cool part, since this is a 1K event, we have deck lists were required for the event, so I have deck lists, so I know what's going on. Usually for our regular tournaments, we don't have deck lists for the competitors or the players, so I can't really do specific if there's any specific questions I can find out if next time I see the person. And then during the sideboard process, I don't really know what's going on. I mean, I know what they can do, just not what they can do. If that makes any sense. If it doesn't, I understand. Alright, so we're going to... I believe this is... I think it's Binding Mummy. I have lost my cell phone. Alright. We're thriving over here. Alright, that is an Explorer. The really nice art of Explorer, honestly. He's going to get to put another land in play. He just ripped the Chalice of the Void off the top. And that's going to be huge. Alright, Chalice on 1. That's really good against Craig's deck. I mean, I feel like over 60 to 70% of the deck is 1-drops. Alright, attacks in for some damage here. I mean, he currently has support. The issue is the Bring to Light Scapeshift deck isn't a deck that has a problem getting rid of a board. As long as it doesn't die before turn, I don't know, turn 3, turn 4. Like, it can set up pretty well. Like, we know he has to bring the light in his hand. He could very well just bring the light into a Supreme Verdict right now. He should have all the colors necessary. Yep, looks like we're casting Bring the Light here. Tap at appropriate colors. Just gotta say, kudos to him for properly announcing which colors he's using. I'm about that. Alright, yep. Bring the Light into Supreme Verdict. Gets rid of the zombies here. And asking to read Gravecrawler, making sure it says cast, not return to the battlefield. We've hit the point of the game where Harrison can kind of just relax until he finds another Bring to Light. Now he does play Dryad, and Craig's going to scoop it up. We're going to go to game 2. I think with his hand configuration, Chalice is just a little too good right there. Alright, so we're definitely going to see the 2 copies of Fracture come in. That is like what just got hard smacked on the mat. He's like, we're doing this. We're playing this card. And Fracture's pretty cool. Fracture just destroys, is it target it's not target permanent. That would be a little too good. I think it's Planeswalker Artifact or, yeah, target Artifact, Enchantment, or Planeswalker. And I was like, I know there's a third type. Because it came out in Strixhaven alongside Vanishing Verse, which gets rid of, it's an instant that exiles any monocolored permanent. Because I was playing that for a hot second in Esper Control, back before Modern Horizons 2, where that deck was good. I miss that deck. That deck was fun. And yeah, so we saw those cards come in. For Harrison, I don't know if we really need to bring anything in. I don't know. He definitely brings in the playset of Sunset Revelry, or at least a number of Sunset Revelry. That card is really cool. So that card is from, I believe, Midnight Hunt. It's the better timely reinforcements. Yeah, Midnight Hunt. It is a 1 and a white sorcery. If an opponent has more life than you, you gain 4 life. If an opponent controls more creatures than you create 2 1/1 white humans. And then if your opponent has more cards in hand than you do, you draw a card. So it is one of those really good get back into the game spells. And seeing as how he only plays 3 to 4 creatures in his deck, I don't know if you count Valky as a creature. I guess in theory he could put it on the board as a creature. I don't know why you would, but you could. It lets him create some... Oh, he also has an Eternal Witness, so 5 creatures. He could bring in the copy of Endurance from his sideboard. I mean, Craig does have graveyard shenanigans going on there. Yeah, I think I'd be on the 4 copies of Sunset and then the Endurance into the main. The Force of Vigors don't seem like they're going to do too much. The Veil of Summer is not too relevant. I don't think Craig plays any counterspell magic. Mystical Dispute, it's not really worth fighting over that type of stuff. Engineered Explosives, while decent, probably just, again, isn't needed. And then Alpine Moon, not really relevant at all. I guess he could be cheeky and... No, there's nothing to call Alpine Moon on. I mean, you could call it on a fetch land, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Sunset Revelry and Endurance is probably is definitely where I would be. And then Craig, he's got Path to Exile, so that could be decent. I don't know what Stain the Mind does. Let's take a look at that. I've covered my keyboard in deck lists. Stain the Mind. From 2015, Convoke. It's 4 and a black with Convoke. Name a non-land card. Search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library. That's interesting. I guess that's his way of dealing with decks like Amulet Titan. You just flood the board with a bunch of little dorks real quick and then Stain the Mind and just get rid of all the copies of insert problem card here. It's kind of cute. Actually, you know what? I think I'd maybe consider bringing that in against Harrison. Take all the copies of Bring the Light. I mean, it's a non-land, so you can't hit Valakut, but... Yeah, I think I kind of like the idea of bringing the Stain in the Mines in. Like, he has to build up a board and not get trapped on 2 mana, but... Alright. Are you going to be a Fetch Shock and a Gravecrawler? Yes, indeed. Fetch Shock, Gravecrawler. Oh, cool. The camera angle has been adjusted. The brightness went out of whack. But sometimes that's what happens when you use a webcam. Now let's take a look at, I think Binding Mummy drains an opponent when it comes into play. Might do something else. Might have a death trigger. Alright, so Binding Mummy, 1 and a white. Whenever another zombie enters a battlefield under your control, you may tap target artifact or creature. That's pretty cute. That's not the one that we saw earlier. The multicolored one. Multicolored one was Wayward Servant, which is a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain a life. Now, I don't know if that counts for itself. I would assume not, because it says when another zombie. I believe he drained his opponent last game. Alright, we got a Citrus Supply on the board. Milling some cards. Do we have the turn 2 Thoughtseize? Does Harrison have the turn 2 Chalice of the Void? Craig making sure his deck is thoroughly shuffled. Which, like, I understand. You don't want the variance of, like, flooding out here. Right? There's a Thoughtseize. Using the Theros Thoughtseizes, too, which is pretty sweet. Usually you see the Lorwyn ones or the Time Spa Remastered ones, which are the Lorwyn art, but... Alright, we got Explore, Chalice of the Void, Dryad, and... Explore? Do we have mismatching arts for Explore? Oh no. That's only acceptable if you use the Yargle Explorers, the best Explorer ever printed. Which I need to buy for Amulet Titan. I just don't feel like... I think they're like $15. I don't want to pay $60 for Explorers. Alright, using the fetch. Grabbing a Rogren Triumph. They all look the same. Just... The full art Triumphs, it's very hard to distinguish. But I'm pretty sure that's Rogren. I can't wait to be super wrong. And have it be Ketria. Alright, I'm going to fetch with the Windswept Teeth. Playing the Explorer. Be interesting if we shock. I doubt we will. Curious as to why the camera keeps refocusing a bunch. Let's draw Wooded Foothills. Which isn't bad here. Right, never mind. That's actually just better. Yeah, go for the tap, the Valk of the Molten Pinnacle. He has the Fracture in his hand. Drops the Fracture. Alright, Concealed Courtyard. Attacks in for 3. I'm going to go 13 to 14. And just passes. Okay. Now Harrison can play Land for turn, Explore. put another land into play, and then play the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, and then if he has another land, he can play that. Alright, got a land drop. Alright, I'm gonna fetch. So we're down to 12. I wonder if he's gonna grab a shock land? What colors do we have? So we have red, white, blue, green, red. I imagine he shocks here. Alright, grab the mountain. Alright, Windswept for turn. Fetch and play Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Oh, so it is Catch Your Triumph. Nice. Oh, Lord. Yes. Oh, no. That is Rogren, isn't it? There's another Triumph that he's playing. Yeah, that's Rogren Triumph. He could not do that. Because Rogren taps for red, white. He didn't have a green source for the Dryad. Which technically ended up not mattering because there was a removal spell for it immediately, but... Yeah, because that's the snow-covered plains. That's a mountain, and that's a Jeskai land. Alright, Solitude's the Stitcher's Reply, Craig's gonna gain a life. Then blocks the Gravecrawler. Harrison will gain 2. Or 3. It's a 3-2. Alright, he's gonna play, I believe that's the Undead Augur. Yep, that is an Undead Augur from Modern Horizons. When it enters the battlefield or another zombie you control dies, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Alright, Prismatic ending the Augur. And decides to pass. Attacks in for 2. 9 to 13. Cycles a Triumph. Alright, there's Sunset Revelry. He's gonna make 2 dudes, gain some life, and then I'm pretty sure he draws a card. I can't see. Yep, definitely draws a card. Okay. Yeah, 2 1/1 humans. You know, the standard sets haven't been amazing, but they've had some bangers at common and uncommon spot lately in the last, like, year. Strixhaven had Expressive Iteration. This one is Midnight Hunt has Sunset Revelry. Consider was a card. Faithful Mending. Crimson Vow has the new Soul Guide Lantern effect. It has a Feign Death as a really cool common. Craig's gonna attack with the Gravecrawler. He's gonna bring back the Gravecrawler. Alright, Harrison's gonna fetch here. Tap Steam Vents. Plains. Taps to Plains for Prismatic Ending, exiles a Gravecrawler, and just passes. Craig draws another land that he does not need. There's a copy of an Unearth that he just drew, which isn't bad. You can revive the Giralf's Messenger. I think he has one milled. Yeah. And Giralf's Messenger is a 3-mana 3/2. Enters battlefield tap. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life, and then has an Undying. So when it, if it dies, it can come back with a 1/1 counter on it if it didn't have a 1/1 counter on it when it died. Which is kind of cool. Pretty decent inclusion in the zombie deck. And I will say, I know Craig did pretty well at this event. Right, he's going to tap in. Gravecrawler's going to die. Going to bring back the Gravecrawler because he has a zombie on the board. Harrison's just going to Solitude the Giralfs. Craig's going to gain 3 life. Very reactive deck. Right, Prismatic Ending on the Gravecrawler. Tax number 3. Craig's going to go 13. It's going to be 13 all. Now, the include I like in Craig's deck, and it's a shame he hasn't got to play it yet, is Headless Rider from Crimson Vow. So, like, it's a brand new card, but it's pretty sick in my opinion. So it's a 3-mana zombie. It's a 3/1. When it enters, or whenever Headless Rider or another non-token zombie you control dies, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature. So it's kind of similar to Bridge from Below. Now, of course, this is a 3/1 that can get killed, but I mean, there might be a little bit of shenanigans that you can do with Altar of Dementia. But unfortunately, that is going to be the match, with Harrison picking up the win 2-0 against the Orzhov Zombies list. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day.